Now then, we are the Don't Tell Show. We make and review gritty social realist cinema. We put up a new video every Monday, so if that sounds like your sort of thing, hit the subscribe button and we'll see you there. Carrying on our folk filmmaking series, this is the third film we've reviewed. To watch the other two, click here. And here. Quick summary: folk filmmaking is an emerging film movement in independent circles where filmmakers are sort of circumventing the traditional routes into the industry by uploading all of their content directly to YouTube for free. And it's about time, because like Rage Against the Machine said, it's time to take the power back. Forget About Everything for a While is the fifth feature film, I think, from Joel Havers, the YouTube superstar who's just passed 1 million subscribers, by the way. Released in 2020, it follows 5 days in the life of a man played by Havers, whose relaxing summer house sitting is disturbed by a stranger who arrives looking for the girl who lives there. The two develop a friendship of sorts that goes to some funny and introspective places.
Amber, is it you? What are you doing? Yo, please, no.
This is the first of any of Joel Havers' work that I've seen, and immediately I was struck by the sort of leisurely pace of it, the stillness. It has that very summer holiday feel that Sapphire did. And it has a very natural humour to it, a very natural banter to it. It isn't sort of setups and payoffs in that sort of these sort of traditional comedy routine. It's a bit more random, not sort of Reeves and Mortimer random.
Do you want your face washing, Carl?
Yeah, that would be nice, thank you.
Or Churdley's random.
Is it looking at us, dude?
Oh, dude, yeah. Its eyes are gazing upon us, dude.
Take your eyes away, look down.
Oh, maybe Churdley's actually, but it's just sort of, people are funny, the way that people talk and people interact. I'd find conversations amusing all the time. I'm always just listening to things that people say in the office and stuff like that. It's just because everyone thinks differently and everyone reacts differently and everyone has something to offer. If you can capture that in a film, it's so much funnier than just writing down a setup and a payoff. It just works. And I don't know how to describe it. I think it's not surreal random, it's not just totally random, it's casual random, I guess. That's what I'll call it. Casual random.
I don't know, maybe it's something in my subconscious or something.
Or just your conscious.
Secondly, the visual style. Nearly every shot in this is static, with all the scenes playing out in sort of real time, real long takes, adding this realism to it. And it has that sort of feel of Tsai Ming Liang. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. What time is it there, guy? It has the feel of his films, where you get to sit in this environment for quite a long time, and you end up looking all around the frame and just noticing things. Even though, like, not that the dialogue and the interactions aren't riveting, but you relax in there as if you actually sat there. So you know the two are sat by the pool, just having a conversation, and you're listening to them, but you're looking around as well. What's that doing over there? And it has that. It really, you feel like you're there with them. It's really immersive, and it's weird to me that people don't think that that's immersive. It's like most audiences think that's the opposite. They're like, "There's nothing going on. I'm not immersed." And like, no, this is that is what immersion is to me. That is what cinema is to me. If the story's taking me in and showing me something and make me feel something like that, that's immersive. It's not. I don't need to be bombarded with noise to feel immersed, because that just gives me a headache. I love the colours in this film. They're really vibrant. You get that really deep dusk blue and the orange from the fire. And not only do they look gorgeous and give that sort of feel to it, but they also sort of serve a purpose, because plot-wise, under that sunny surface, there is something cold. And if you leave something cold out in the sun for too long, you get Michael Scott's potato salad.
I wish I could make potato salad that good. It's just potatoes and mayonnaise. There's something wrong with jam.
Yes, there is something wrong. And everything that I've just talked about that immerses you in the film and makes you feel like you're there with these people and that they're your friends, it all pays off when they start to hit rocky ground, and it hits deep. So yeah, I really love this film, and watching this straight after bed, I can see that there's definitely connections, even though filmmaking it's sort of only connected through the idea of distributing online. It seems that there are definitely elements of this there are elements of Cody Clark and Joel Havers' work that I've seen so far that do seem connected, and it seems that they're sort of throwing out the artifice, like I said, about the editing and being very showy about cinema. They're sort of taking all that away and stripping it right back down, and they're sort of throwing out this sort of postmodern claptrap we've been going through for way too long now. It's just failed to tell us anything about what it is to be alive, and we're going back. We're not even going back to mumblecore, which seems sort of the most obvious and the nearest movement to folk filmmaking. They're not even going back to a sort of 90s independent cinema, because I think there was an artifice to a lot of that as well. They're going even further back to the sort of intimate dramas of Ozu, or intense introspection of Bergman, or the Kiarostami's films, because he knew how to make small dramas about big feelings, and that is what we're having here. We're going back and we're really looking at ourselves now after all of this refusing to just talking about, hey, this reminds me of that time when the Berlin Wall fell down, all that Family Guy shit. This is sort of remodernism, that was another film movement a few years back that tried to get off the ground. I don't know. I think it did get going, but it had that sentiment to it. Like that, the specific quote that I just said was that it reject postmodernism because it's failed to tell us anything about what it is to be alive. That's where I feel we are with these films, and not only are we there, but they are doing it so well. Really, it's really getting in there, and these films are sort of taking me emotionally somewhere that I haven't been for some time. I'm starting to feel now that we've been sort of molded sort of by this. It sounds like a conspiracy. I don't mean it's a conspiracy, but you see that there are certain ways to make films, and you see sort of indie filmmakers coming up, and they're all going through those same things. And it's like we've been taught to look at the world through someone else's lens. These filmmakers are starting to realise that filmmaking is democratised now, and we don't need to do that. We can put our content out there for free and interact with our audience. We don't need to play that game, and we don't need to look at the world through that lens, and we don't need to talk about what the industry wants to talk about, or whatever's in the paper, or whatever's trending. We have this power now to properly look at ourselves the way we want to, and talk about what we're interested in and what bothers us, and ask the questions that we want answers for, even if we don't get them. You know, and we now have the power to open up our own lenses and let the light in on ourselves and the dark. It's an exciting time.
What? What are you doing?
And I saw a video the other day saying that YouTube isn't filmmaking. I'm like, what are you talking about? YouTube isn't a genre. It's a platform. And as long as people like this, like Dan Lotz, Joel Havers, Cody Clark, are making films and putting them on here like this, it's going to be a fantastic one for film. I almost said cinema then. I think cinema's dead. I don't see the point of it. I think if your storytelling is good enough, then it should grab the audience. You shouldn't need to take them to some artificial dark room and sit them in there and create this sort of fake environment in order for your film to work. I watched this film on my phone, and I've watched it 3 times now. Not always on my phone, just the first time. It didn't affect the experience at all. The storytelling dragged me in. It really got to me. It hit me deep. And I watched it on a phone. It didn't matter. The filmmaking is great. The storytelling is great. It got me in there. Sorry, David Lynch. Watched it on a phone. Anyway, forget about everything for a while. Fantastic chemistry between the two leads. The characters are so interesting and quirky and idiosyncratic and real feeling. It looks gorgeous. The look of it serves a purpose. The pace of it serves a purpose. Everything in it does exactly what it's trying to do. It does it incredibly effectively. And honestly, I can't stop watching it. I don't know why. I think you have periods like this where I do watch films constantly, and there's sometimes where you can go quite a while watching films, and you know, if you're open to just watching sort of anything, you just say, I'll try that. You might go through periods where you don't see anything that really excites you or really moves you. You're just a bit like, well, that was a bit like that other thing I've seen. That was a bit like that other thing I've seen. And then occasionally you see something, and it just suddenly really excites you and invigorates you, and you're like, yes, this is what I've been looking for. I think that's what I felt like with this, and I just keep finding myself putting it on, and it just drifts by, even though there are sort of dramatic and very emotive moments in it. I just feel, I don't know, I feel like I've been somewhere and I feel comfortable watching it, and I don't know how he did it. Anyway, I've waffled a lot in this. I'm sorry. As usual, the link will be in description. Please check it out. Tell them we sent you if you go there. We are the Don't Tell Show, and we'll see you next Monday.